I've gotten several questions here recently about cooking a whole beef tenderloin, and it's one of my favorite things to cook for an ancillary beef contest. I've done really well cooking this whole beef tenderloin. You can buy them a couple different ways. I buy them whole in the bag. Sometimes it's called a Pismo cut, but it's just the whole beef tenderloin hasn't been broken down or trimmed. If you buy them trimmed from your butcher, like at your supermarket or Whole Foods or somewhere, you're going to pay a lot more per pound because the butcher's done the work of cleaning this loin up. It's not that difficult to do. It takes a little bit of time, but basically what you're doing is taking off some of the fat. There's a pretty good muscle that you want to take off back here on this end, and I'm just going to go ahead and start trimming the way I would trim it for a contest. Basically, you want to get the silver skin off and any of this fat that's on it, and there's no easy way to do it. Just start trimming at it, use a sharp knife, thin blade, and try to stay just right above the skin underneath that silver skin. Once you break that off, you can kind of take your fingers in here and separate out what's called the chain here, and that needs to come off as well. And don't throw any of this away because it's the fillet. It's still really good meat. It's just not what we're looking for when I'm cooking this whole beef fillet. You can use it for grinding up, making some really good burger. You can cut it up, stir fry it, but it's really good meat. Has a lot of good flavor because it has a little more fat in it than the actual fillet does. But I want you to see how I'm taking the silver skin off. I just go lightly and go across, get it cut, and then bring it back and stay right up under the skin. Just kind of peel it off. And it's going to take you a little while to work it all off, but just be patient, and you don't want to cut too deep into it. The reason why you take it off because you can't, it's so tough that you couldn't chew it. And it's just like trying to eat a rubber band. But if you buy these beef fillets whole in the bag, you can save a lot per pound. I think I paid like $11.99 for this one versus, up around 20 bucks if you buy one trimmed. And this is where they're getting the filet mignons that they want $25 a pound for out of the butcher case. I also take some of the tail off up here because I want the cuts to be uniform, and I want it pretty much one solid piece going down. It's going to be a little thinner on the ends, but you want to square it up. Get any of that membrane off. So I kind of got one pile of meat going that I'm going to keep, do something else with. And then I got my throwaway pile, which is all this silver skin and membrane. And I'm also, where it's tailing down here, I'm going to come in, separate that off. Take the tail off. I'm going to come over here and take off some of this fat right there. Got a little deep package in it. Well, this one's cleaned up pretty good. Now, see, I got a pretty good bit of trim, and you just don't, like I said, you don't want to throw that away. But what you want is this clean piece of filet. Now we've got a whole beef filet that we can grill, and it's going to be really good. The process is not that hard. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stick it in a bag, and I'm going to marinate it for a couple hours. It needs about 2 hours at least in the refrigerator. And today I'm using something that's quick, it's really good. It's Moore's. You can find it at most local grocery stores, Walmart even. But it's Moore's Hickory Original Marinade. Really good marinade for beef. I like it. They have a couple different flavors. They got a wing marinade and some Asian different flavors that are really good. Check out Moore's products. But all I do, and I've done this a lot of times in contests, is just pour a bottle of Moors on it, get it in a cooler, get it in the refrigerator, and let it hang out. That filet is going to absorb these flavors. It's not going to overpower it. It's not too salty or anything. We just want to give it time to soak and draw in that marinade. And the next step we're going to do after a couple hours is I'm going to season it with some butcher barbecue steak and brisket rub. That's a really good rub for beef. I'll show you that. Let's let it marinate for a couple hours. When we come back, we'll season it and get the grill going. I'm cooking this on the Weber today outside. It's going to be a fairly quick cook for a decent sized piece of meat, so stick around. Okay, the filet has been marinating in the Moors marinade for 2 hours in the refrigerator. I took it out, let the excess drip off in the sink. Now I'm going to season it, and what I'm using, I said earlier, it's a butcher's barbecue steak and brisket rub, and it's really good on beef, but you can use it on just about anything. I like the lemon pepperiness of it. It's got a little bit of sweetness, not too much sugar in it, but it's salt, garlic, the flavors you'd think that would go with beef, and then a little lemon pepper to kick it up. I want to give it a good dose of this on the outside. We're going to sear it off. But the way we're going to cook this is kind of got a 2-zone fire I'm going to build out here in my Weber kettle. And I'm going to start it out over the hot coals on the hot zone. And I'm going to let it go on all sides, kind of all 4 sides. I'm just going to turn it every 2 minutes. And that's kind of going to get the outside seared. And then we're going to move it over to the cool zone and finish it. And I can't stress, important enough when you're cooking one of these expensive fillets like this, get you a good instant rate thermometer, because we're going to have to stop this thing from cooking at about 125 to 130 degrees. You don't want to overshoot. When you spent 70 bucks on a big piece of meat, you don't want to mess it up because you overshot your temps. And that's one thing I'll stress when I'm outside cooking. We're going to get it seared off here. I'm going to go outside, get the grill fired up, get it set up for 2-zone cooking. We'll get this whole beef fillet on the fire and show you how we're going to cook it. Okay, I got my Weber grill going here, and I've got a 2-zone fire in here. The hot coals are on this side underneath my grill grate. Then I've got a drip pan, and to separate the fire underneath the cool zone. The first thing we're going to do is get this loin on and sear it right on the hot coals. And I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. I'm going to let it cook. When it goes off, I'm going to turn it and do it on 4 sides for 2 minutes each side. There it goes. Got some grill marks going. I just gave it a straight flip. Nothing fancy. We're going to go back, set a timer for 2 minutes again, and then we're going to knock these other 2 sides out, doing 2 minutes. Okay, it's been 2 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get it going on these sides now. And it's a little tricky to get it stand up, but just kind of do it the best you can. We're just wanting to get all the surface area marked up. I'm going to stand it up there. Okay, now that we've seared it on all 4 sides, I'm just going to move it over here to the cool zone. Let it hang out. We want it to get to an internal temperature between 125 and 130. That's right at mid-rare with a little bit of a carryover. I'm going to check it right now just to see where it's at. Right in the center. You can see it's right at about 100 degrees, so it's got a little ways to go. I'm going to put the lid on and let it cook now on this cool side. Turn it if it needs it, but I'll come out and check about every 10 minutes until we get to 125. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and I just wanted to come out and feel, and we're right at 130. That's where I want it. That's a good medium rare, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the loin off, take it inside and let it rest. And it's got a good feel to it. I know it's going to be really good when we cut into it, but I want to let it sit about 10 minutes before we slice it because I don't want to lose any of the juices that's in it. So I'll show you that in just a second. Short rest. Okay, I gave the tenderloin about as long as rest as we could take, about 10-15 minutes is all you need. Now I want to cut it and show you what it looks like after it's rested. And basically when you're serving it, you can cut it thick as you want, but I like to keep it, if I'm serving it for a lot of people, you keep it kind of thin and just kind of make long cuts. And it's going to be super tender. Of course you can wrap this thing in bacon, you season it any kind of way you want, but I like to, just like it is right here, this is good. I mean, you serve it with some sauteed mushroom, You know, maybe some asparagus or something like that. That's exactly what you want it to look like. It's mid-rare, perfect filet. Anything more is going to dry it out. You want it to taste beefy. It's not bloody, it's just perfect. That's how you do beef tenderloin. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our newsletter at HowToBBQRight.com. We send out a new video just about every Thursday. I try to. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'd love to get some feedback. If you got any questions, fire them my way and I'll answer them. Thanks for checking us out.